Apparently it isn't that tough to find radical left-wing staffers on the Bernie Sanders presidential primary campaign. Project Veritas released Tuesday the third video in its Government and Overthrowing Capitalism, a field organizer identified as Daniel Taylor said in the hidden camera footage that even if Mr. Sanders wins the Democratic nomination and the presidency, there may still be the need for extreme action. Even if Bernie is elected, change will not come swiftly or easily, so the connections we're making now in the campaign and with other volunteers and events, it's important we retain that regardless of the outcome, said Mr. Taylor. It's unfortunate that we have to make plans for extreme action, but like I said, they're not going to give it to us even if Bernie is elected. A second field organizer identified as Mason Baird agreed that the Sanders campaign attracts people whose politics fall well outside of the American norm, and have more of a mind for direct action, for engaging in politics outside of the electoral system. I've canvassed with someone who's, like, an anarchist, and I've canvassed with someone who's more of a Marxist, Leninist, so we attract radical, like truly radical people to the campaign, said Mr. Baird in the video. But that's not outward-facing, Mr. Taylor also emphasized the importance of keeping such information quiet, at least for the time being. We don't want to scare people off, so you've kind of got to feel it out first before you get into the crazy stuff. Mr. Taylor said. You know, we were talking about more extreme organizations and stuff like Antifa, you were talking about the yellow vests, all that, but we're kind of keeping that on the back burner for right now. Breaking. Sanders' Iowa State Director Missy Rebick tweeted after the first video that Iowans don't care about political gossip, while a North Charleston, SC, police officer told a PV team in the parking lot outside the field office that the campaign had no comment. Like staffers in the previous two videos, Mr. Baird brushed off reports of atrocities within the Soviet gulags, saying he thought the gulags and the persecution of the kulaks and things like that are exaggerated, adding, our own American empire has excesses of course. He emphasized that he had no stomach for violent revolution, saying with a laugh that, after we abolish landlords, we don't have to kill them, and that, I'm not excited by the prospect of armed struggle. I just never want to kill anybody. That scares me a lot. Mr. Baird said. I would say most people in the movement are in it to avoid going that far, and there's a wing of the movement that sees that as inevitable, asked the PV undercover investigator. Yeah, he replied. Property damage was another matter. We would need a federal government and labor union movement that is working together to strip power away from capitalists and preferably directing that violence toward property. Mr. Baird said. Mr. Taylor said socialism may be catching on with U.S. voters, saying that whole socialist thing 4 years ago was a whole lot more toxic than it is today. I think people are finally starting to realize that maybe it's not such a bad thing. Major presidential primary campaigns typically employ hundreds of staffers who do not necessarily speak for the campaign, but Project Veritas said. The videos give insight into the mindset of the people Sanders surrounds himself with. Project Veritas has been accused of posting misleading and deceptively edited videos, which President and founder James O'Keefe has repeatedly denied. As we continue to expose radicals inside the Sanders campaign, the question must be asked, are these people representative of the campaign or not, asked Mr. O'Keefe. If not, shouldn't the campaign disavow these workers? Or are they the true face of the campaign and the candidate himself? Sign up for daily newsletters. Let's block ads.